We're going to redo the patina video here. I don't know what happened with the video I posted. There was some issues. I had to pull the video down. I'm going to try to set the truck here where you can see it up close what I did. And I'm going to go through a better step-by-step video on how I did this. There's tons and tons of ways that you guys can do patina. This is just my easy, cheap way that I did this. You don't got to spend a lot of money on it. You don't got to spend a lot of time on it. I will try to put the photos. I did keep those from doing the last video, and I will try to put them in a sequence with absolutely no music or anything with them because I don't know why. I had rights to that stuff, but it still created an issue. So we're redoing the patina video. I just super aggravated. This is the third time. I was actually pretty aggravated doing that video because I was having issues with two other videos. So let's get into this. Terry, I will send you a link to it as soon as I get this video edited. And hopefully it'll give you some help because I know you asked me and a few other people asked. That's why I did the other video. So let's get right into it. So the things right off the bat that I'm going to recommend that you get is honestly this AK Rust Streak stuff. You can get it off of Amazon. I tried to add a link to the last video. I bought this so long ago. That seller no longer has or carries that stuff. So it is on Amazon and other sellers. It's like $7-8 for that AK Rust Streak stuff. They also have like the AK Moldy stuff. There's a bunch of different stuff you can use. I would recommend getting you cheap, flat Rust-Oleum paint like I have right here. Just some cheap. Go to the Walmart, wherever. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Wherever you want to go, get your I would recommend a satin or a flat because it's going to be easier to work with. And gloss is just kind of a nightmare. You don't want gloss for an old sun-baked, dried, rusty, crusty old looking patina anyways. So how I recommend if you're doing it on a Lexan, paint your Lexan in a silver on the inside because it'll look like bare metal when it starts getting scratched. So that's your basic paint, and I always use a dark color that gonna look like rust, like a dark brown, as your base on the outside. So once you get your silver laid down on the underneath of your body, whatever you're doing, and this is for Lexan, do your silver inside your body so you have the silver bare metal look stuff coming through. That's what this one was, basically red and silver on the inside, and I got lucky on that, was already painted. The outside of it, what I do is I just scuff it up with some steel wool. This is just super fine, ultra fine steel wool. You can buy this at wherever store you want to buy it from in a bag for like, I think $2-3. You can also use this putting it in a bowl of vinegar. I believe it's like vinegar, water, and salt or something like that, and you leave it soak. I done it a long time ago. I didn't like it. Came out okay. It just makes like your own paint on, brush on patina, and it's a little cheaper if you want to go that route, but you don't really need to because that AK stuff is cheap. You can also go somewhere and get you this stain. I recommend a dark stain, and you can dilute this with acetoner and use this too. You got to be very careful because the acetoner and the chemicals in this might eat through your paint. I would recommend the AK. I have done this in the past very cheaply. You can buy a big can of this stuff and you have to use acetoner and dilute it down and make it super watery thin. And then you can just brush it on. You'll need some cheap paint brushes. I don't have them laying here for this video. You can go to Walmart or the Dollar Tree. You're just going to use the paint brushes and throw them away. There's no sense of cleaning them because it's just easier to buy cheap paint brushes because you're literally just painting your AK, that rust stuff on, and then wiping it and dabbing it and all that stuff. So let's get into this. You're going to need some more steel wool. One piece should get you, maybe two. You're going to need your salt. You can use rock salt. I don't like the rock salt as well. I would recommend the smaller table salt. I don't know if I can move this around. The camera will pick it up, but the spots right here, this is the smaller spots on the door. And it'll give you a nice textured rust too. It actually will give you a texture to it. So first off you want to do is take your steel wool and go all over the outside of this cab. Now I've seen where people say like the paint will flake off, Lexan. It absolutely won't. If you take the process and you steel wool all this down, that's why I said use fine, because you just want to scuff it all up. With the steel wool, I wouldn't use sandpaper. Steel wool works better. It stays on better in my opinion. Some other people might feel different. Just go over the whole body that you're doing and get it'll get like a doll look to the Lexan. You'll know where you need to quit. All over the whole outside of the body. You're going to have to make your window mask out of some, painter's tape. I just go to the Dollar Tree and buy $1.25 painter's tape. It ain't, you're doing a patina, so you don't got to have this, real expensive tape. Do your window mask, make those out of the tape. This is what I do. I wash the whole body with just whatever you do your dishes in. I wipe it down with alcohol wipes. I let it dry real good. I do my window mask. I take it out. I get a little bit. You can get you a little bottle, spray bottle of water. It will make the salt stick a little better, and you can mist the whole body with water if you want. Take your salt, and you can literally just sprinkle your salt all over your cab. Okay, you can do that, and then you can go over it with your brown. What I recommend is, even with your silver base under your cab, I would paint your brown all over first. Let the paint kind of be sticky. Blech. Take your salt and just sprinkle all over the cab where you want your rust at. Give it a little bit and let that rust sit. Hit it with another coat or light coat of brown. And just do your time intervals, whatever, between. I usually do 5 minutes because I do most of my painting at once. That's why I like the Rust-Oleum. It works well. You're going to want like a light coat brown, sprinkle your salt. A light coat brown, sprinkle your salt. And then a medium coat of brown, and let that sit for just a little bit. You don't want to let it sit for a while, because when you add your next layer of paint, you're going to have issues. I usually wait about 7 minutes, and you're not painting heavy, just light to medium. That's what you want, light to medium. But you want to make sure you get plenty of coats, because you're going to be scuffing into this thing with the steel wool. After about 5 to 7 minutes, I would recommend going back over it with salt again. And you can go heavy with the salt. I usually just keep going light with the salt between each coats. I chose the orange for this one. That 2X paint works really good for this because it does work with plastics as well. And always enamel paint, or with enamel paint, I think you get a nicer patina with the enamel paint, in my opinion. Especially with these older bodies and stuff, because originally they were painted with enamel paints. Go over the whole body with your main color. Sprinkle some salt. Go over it again. Light. Another light, and then a medium coat of your paint, and with your salt in between. Like I said, you can use your rock salt if you want bigger, rust spots. Let this thing dry for several days. That's what I did with this one. I gave it 2 days for everything to harden up, everything to cure. Let it sit in a warm spot, get some, heat on it. After you get happy with where you want it, take your steel wool and just go over everything. You just lightly with that fine steel wool, and you'll start scuffing it down to the layers of salt, and you'll start getting like I have here, and just go over the whole cab however you want it. And the salt will start popping through. You can hear it. You'll start getting a texture from the salt. Don't take it down too far, and you'll get like the little rusty spots like I got here on the door. I just really like the fine salt better than doing the rock salt. The rock salt just, I don't know. You can see the rock salt on the hood and the roof was, nah. It comes out better if you use the finer table salt, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. After you're all done, and you get this scuffed down with your steel wool, Now, you can take that steel wool, you can get you some salt and water and like a bowl you're not going to reuse for anything, and let that soak and make your rust patina stuff with that. I believe that's the process of it. You can use the stain, diluted down really watery thin with acetoner if you want to do that. I'd recommend just getting on and spending the money for the AK Rust stuff. I'm not sponsored by them or push their products, but this makes everything a lot easier. And it goes a lot faster and it won't damage your paint. So you just go, I went over this whole thing with the AK Rust streaks and brushed it on and let it sit for a little while because it takes forever for that stuff to cure. And then I just kind of kept brushing it on and then dab and wipe, brushing it on, dab and wipe. The salt will start soaking up that AK Rust and it'll just literally make rust. It's literally that easy. The salt particles will soak up this stuff here, and you can do it as much as you want. Then if you really want to get real rusty crusty like I did around the windows here, on the windshield, and then around my side windows, you can go get yourself some cheap gel super glue. I like the cheap actual super glue brand from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. You get 2 tubes, the little squeeze tubes in the packs. Has to be the gel. And you just take that and you go around wherever you want the chunks of rust to be built up with. And while it's still a little wet, this is why I said you want disposable, throwaway, junk paintbrushes. You'll dab your paintbrush. Don't dab it directly into here. Pour it into your cap or whatever. Take your paintbrush, get the AK Rust on it, and just go around the super glue before it hardens and dries. And keep doing that until you get it to the dark brown, rusty, crusty looking old that you want. And that's what I did around my windows with this. The super glue will start soaking this up and it'll turn like a white looking stuff. Don't worry, keep going over it. As it dries, just keep going, and it will turn this dark brown that you see around, I got around the window frames. You can actually use this around the whole body. You can go around your fender wells without cutting up your body. This idea works with Lexan. This idea works with hard bodies as well with the AK and the gel super glue. And if you have a hard body, you can sand that back off, which is really nice. You don't, if you want to go back over, you're going to be sanding a hard body to repaint it. If you want to put a nice pretty paint job on it after a patina, that is reversible. You can sand it back off. It's literally that easy. Terry, you asked about wheels. Aluminum wheels, steel wheels ain't gonna matter. You can take this AK Rust stuff, the painted steel wheels, like scale wheels. This works really well on. You can just go around the same, and you can go white wheels show this up really well. You can just take your paintbrush and go around it. You can check out, I have my TF3 on the channel. I showed how to do that on my TF3 video on how I'm pretty sure I broke that down, did the same thing on the body and the wheels on that TF3. So that's exactly how I did it. Like I said, the white wheels, if you're into scale stuff, shows that up without having to spend a lot of time on it. And you can always take your super glue, that gel super glue, if you have aluminum too, or any kind of other chrome wheel. You can probably have to scuff it up a little bit, but you could take that super glue, that gel super glue, and do the same thing to your wheels and make a rusty, crusty, rusty old wheel as well. That's literally all you got to do, guys. I'm not doing this video super long because I spent forever on the last one and I had to take it down. That's what you got for patina. You guys comment down below if you have questions. Terry, you can always get a hold of me on, I'm the admin on the 304 group. You can just instant message me, man, if you have any other questions. So that's all I did with this, man, from the RC Dungeon, guys. Hopefully this video doesn't get pulled. Peace.